Hello and welcome to this session. Today we're going to explore how basic scripting could be done for automation testing with the help of Selenium and Java. Let's do a quick recap for what we did before. Previously, we tried to install IntelliJ and JDK into our system, and we explored how form.xml file works and what dependencies are. So today we're going to look into very basic. We'll start with very basic details of how automation testing with Selenium and Java works. So first up, we have to create a new class. I'm going to name it my first automation script, and there we go. We need to make this class executable. So what we do is we type in public static void main and all this argument. Then okay, now before we get onto the automation part of this script, let's try to do things manually first, and then we'll try to do it automatically. So the manual procedure, what we're going to do first is we're going to open a browser and hit a URL and try to type in a username, a password, and click on login button. So these are a few of the 5 steps that we're going to follow, and then manually first, and then we'll try to write a script which will do these tasks for us. Because automation testing is all about doing repetitive tasks with the help of your Selenium and any other tools code, right? So let's try to explore. Now, this is the website that I'll be using mostly all through my course. So as you can see, the first thing is the browser is already open, and we're going to hit this URL by sourcedemo.com. The username is already here. You can type in standard underscore user, and the password is secret underscore sauce. Okay, I expect the viewers to visualize that all this is happening manually, right? And then I click on the login button. So, okay, that's fine for now. I'll just copy paste this from here just to. Okay, and there we go. So now think about when you're testing this application, think about when you're actually testing the login form here as SQA testers to carry out this task. Then, of course, you're going to first type in the correct username and the correct password, and then you'll click on the login button. The other approach could be you're going to just keep both of these fields empty and click on login button. So it should come up with a validation like this. Again, the third possibility would be to type in gibberish username or a garbage password, and then you click on the login button, then the validation comes again, but the validation text is different, right? So now these three possibilities are actually called test cases. So now these test cases are actually performed the way I just explained. Now, while automating it, this could be a cumbersome or repetitive task. So the automation testing is all about writing a code once and then re-executing the code over and over again just to save time and make it more streamlined and more efficient, right? So now, since we have already witnessed how we are carrying this out manually, let's try to do that with our automation code, right? Okay. So first step is I need to invoke a browser. So in order to get that, I'm supposed to import a library. So as you can see that it's going to initialize Chrome driver, and these libraries have been imported. Now once these libraries have been imported, all I have to do now is system is dot get property. So that's going to say web driver dot Chrome dot driver and get Chrome driver path. So yeah, well, I'll get to this Chrome driver. That from where we get this Chrome driver, I'll get to this in a bit. I'll just paste the path of this here. Okay. And now we need an object to initialize the Chrome browser. Okay. Now, once we need to initialize the Chrome browser, it needs to be present into our system somewhere to initialize that. So the best way to get our Chrome driver is to go on Google and type in Chrome driver. Go to this link. And since my browser version is higher than 115, so as you can see, it's 126 right now. So I'm going to go to this link, download the stable version. You can just pick this one up for, you just copy and paste this onto your browser and it's going to download. Okay, anyway, here, since I already have that, so I'm not going to re-download it again. And once you do that, wherever you do it, you have to just pass in the path here for executing the browser. Okay. Now, browsers there are many functions or there are many methods you can use to actually handle your browsers, maybe browser size, or manipulate your browser the way you want. You can minimize it, you can maximize it with the help of these commands here. Okay, now the browser is in place. Now I have to hit the URL. So driver.get. Now the URL for my application is this. I'm going to pass in that URL here. And I'm going to, for now, close my browser once the URL is successfully hit. I'll just control F9 it for the build. And when I click on this play button, I expect the browser to open automatically. It maximizes, it hits the URL. Let's try to hold it for maybe 2 seconds. Okay, now let's try to run this again. So there we go. The browser opens, URL hits, it stays there for 2 seconds and then it closes. Okay. Now that's the half part of this video. Now for the other half, I want to actually work with these text fields and these buttons. So for that we have some DOM elements, which are document object model elements, which are used by Selenium to identify and perform actions on those fields, right? So to get those DOM elements or locators for easier identification, you click on a particular, you right click on a particular field, click on inspect button. And for now, what we're looking for is an ID or a name or an XPath. So let's look for an ID or name for now, and then I'll explain XPath and other 6 more DOM elements in a later video. Let's try to pick this one here. There's an ID here, and as you can see, when I hover on this line on the CSS, it actually highlights this username field. As you can see that, you can see this. Yep. So that means that this username ID for this username identifies this field. So I just pick this up like this. I copy it, and then I go to driver.findElement by.id. Okay, so we need to import the by class for that. Okay, so we're getting by ID, and I pass in the ID in the quotations there. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of this. Now, the action that I'm going to perform here is I want to type in the username. So for that we have dot send keys. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not here. It's going to be here. Send keys. Now send keys means that the the text or the strings that I want to type into this field here. So I want to type in standard user. Same, we're going to go for the password field. We just pick up ID for the password field. Driver.find element by.id. Type in password dot send keys, and the password that we're typing in is secret sauce. And lastly, we're going to click on the login button. Okay, now let's try to execute this. Let's see what happens. So as you can see that this happened really fast, and that's one of the many benefits of automation testing, that it happens really fast. Okay? Now, when this has happened, but this hasn't actually, given any kind of a surety to me. I can see that there are things working, but still I need some sort of assertion, some sort of a surety that this has either logged in or this hasn't logged in. So for that purpose, we try to work with another function called assertion. Now, what assertion does is it makes sure that that certain command has certain operation or certain task has been completed for us. It's more like a validation. It's more like a condition that needs to occur perfectly. That makes sure that the certain task or certain condition has been fulfilled or not. So it's going to be oh yeah, sorry. So it's going to be assert true, and it's going to be a boolean condition. So driver dot get page source. We can work with a different title. Let's say I just go right in here and log in. So let's try to get the title first. String dot get dashboard title equals to driver dot get title. Now assert get page source, and do we have that here? Let's see what we're getting in our title for that page. If it's the same, then of course we're going to work with a different approach here. Okay, so it's breaking for some reason. Try to run this again. Okay, so the title that I'm getting is Swag Labs. Now, it's actually the same title that we are getting on the home page, so this doesn't help for us. So let's try to do something different. I'm going to assert that driver dot get um, page source, and let's see if it has a product. Right. Let's try to simplify this. What I'm trying to get here is that I'm trying to get page source, which means that inside this page, if there is a title or maybe a heading which is named as products, so this condition will pass, right? So let's try to run this. Now this logs in. Okay, I'm on the products page. Okay, so Now this has failed for some reason. So what happened here is actually I've picked up everything of this page, everything, every element that has on this page, and put in the assertion that if the product page is here or not, I'm sorry, product text is here or not, but it's actually expecting the whole page data here, which is of course not correct. So we're going to find a way to fix this assertion and see if this works. Okay, let's try to get the XPath of this. Okay, in order to get the XPath, you hover on the element that you want to get. It's exactly the same way we actually fetch the ID for any element, right? But then if we don't have an ID or name or any other XPath, then we work with, I'm sorry, any other element, then we work with XPaths. So to get the XPath is you actually right click on the CSS code, you go on copy and you get copy XPath like this. So product is driver dot find element by XPath. Now this is the XPath expression. What I want to do here is let's try to get the text first. Get. Let's save it in a string. Sub header title is to find XPath. Get text like this out the. Oh, I'm sorry. So let's see if we have. I'll explain this in a bit. What actually I'm trying to achieve here. I will just paste it here as an extra process of this. Another. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here is actually I'm trying to get the I've picked up the XPath for this subheading and I'm trying to get the text present on this heading. And then I'll make sure that I'm adding a condition that the subheading text is this. So these three lines are actually defining it. Now, this is the XPath of this particular element of which I'm getting the text, which is products, and I'm making sure that the XPath, the text of this particular subheading element is products. I'm just making sure that and that is what actually assertion do. So let's try to run this and see what happens. Okay, so there we go. It is actually products. So that is where I added in in the s out or system.out.println statement. That's a Java statement which function which actually uh, prints the text or prints whatever you want to print on the console. Um, that's that's about it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please do like to mention them in our comment section. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.